All right. Welcome. Thank you so much. Let me get to my. Here we go. All right. So we're going to try to be brief, but we got an hour. So hopefully we'll get a chance to go on some tangents. So this is like the basic contents of this presentation. Ground rules. If you want to have a beer or smoke some of your medicinal pot, you're welcome to. Respectful freedom of speech and feedback, please. And everyone must perform their rhyme, even if you read it as spoken word. Participation is mandatory. This is a little bit of my background. I am originally from New York. I've been in Atlanta since '03. I got into higher education admissions recruiting. So I started at Catherine Gibbs in New York, and I was quickly put on a startup team, and I came down to Atlanta to open the Cordon Bleu. We were selling it like off of a blueprint on the wall, and they were building it out and all that stuff. Moved over to American Intercontinental University, AIU. I made my way to Morehouse. I was on campus there for 5 years as the assistant director of housing. And that's where I really got a lot of polish on my game. When I first came to Atlanta, it was rough for me because I was on my New York time. And Monday morning at 10 o'clock, I'm not trying to hear about the weekend and your kids and all this, but the South got its own flow and it has its own culture, even at work. It's like, we're going to get to the work. So it was very interesting. And when I got to Morehouse, I really got a lot of polish on my game and understood a lot more about Atlanta and Georgia. It was a fantastic time living on campus. It was like I went there. I was welcomed into the alumni circle and just the whole network. I am a Q, played some sports and stuff in high school and tried to do my thing. I was okay. You know what I mean? I did some stuff. The New York City Board of Ed, taught at public schools and whatnot, came up in the Y, et cetera, et cetera. As many of us, that's just a natural thing. I was working with at-risk youth ever since I was an at-risk youth from summer camp and all that stuff and so on and so forth. So I was on the homecoming committee at Morehouse, and I really got to learn how to do these big events. And I was getting into craft beer at the same time through one of the coworkers at Morehouse, who was just this like early adopter guy. So we into craft beer. We drinking craft beer at coffee shops. You know what I mean? It's like this brand new thing, '08, '09. I said, I bet I could do like a homecoming beer festival. And I launched like the first hip hop beer festival back in 2012. And the mission was always to end racism and celebrate unity through craft beer, cannabis, and classic hip hop culture. So moving on, let's talk about this program. I don't know if any of y'all been in a diversity training, but it's rough. It's not fun, I don't think, for anybody. In the white paper, I said that diversity professionals have to like work a room full of frowns of people like just so tense. If you ever seen or been in one of those trainings, it's rough. A lot of times it's because something happens. It makes everybody on edge. And HR gets a bad rap. You know, they're like, geez, Louise, we want to give benefits. We don't want to like be the people who have to bring down what feels like punishment or whatever. I think it can be fun, you know, focusing on the inclusivity part, which really, in terms of diversity, represents people being able to voice, you know, and have a voice, you know. So I'm like, well, what better way to have a voice than hip hop, right? Building friendships is one of the tenets that I found in my research. Seems obvious, but you know what I mean? If you don't know anybody from that particular culture, you just got your thoughts running wild. And trying to have like a safe space where you free to be whoever you are, you know, and it's like, that's okay. You don't, you know, if we disagree and we have different views, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it don't mean we can't have a beer, you know? So DI training needs a bit. I don't mean to do that, but DI training needs a bit. You know what I mean? It needs a bit. It needs to chill out. It needs to relax. DEI. Okay. Diversity training needs to just completely relax. I have been in the world of experiential marketing. I took that background and focused on the experiential education part of it, which is actually a real thing. Like that's like a category of, you know, teaching methods and whatnot. So it was cool to find that out because I'm really keen on designing the experience, and that's why it's so participation based. A lot of this is also based on the feedback I've learned from the craft beer community. We've been on the same mission for a good while. So I think that casual atmosphere is key into getting these conversations going. If you break down the components of hip hop individually, they're all like real therapies, right? Like writing, poetry, dance, music, sound, these things are proven. I mean, there's data, there's all kind of research on these things working individually as therapies for, soothing yourself. And the focus is really team building, because I think that's what's lacking. You sit through the diversity training and you never ever turn and talk to the person. You never talk to anybody else in the thing. Y'all all just sitting there getting lectured, just no kind of interaction, no breaking down of the, it takes communication. So that's why it's participation based again. And that's why it needs to be the willing people who's really interested in doing this work and healing these different bridges, because you have to be candid, as y'all saw from the survey. We keep telling each other not to talk about politics, not to talk about religion, but we should at least know who I'm working with. So if we focus on improving ourselves, we can improve society. So that picture is kind of interesting. I didn't mean for it to be that's a little dramatic, but it's it's really serious. The people die. People are dying. There's real stuff happening. So while I want to take a light approach to it, it's a heavy thing. All right, so let's talk about the course itself. These are the learning outcomes. I got to thank Dr. Adrienne Coleman, who I'm basing a lot of this research on. Gaining perspective, finding common ground, building friendships, and embracing discomfort. I thought that was very interesting. So these are the modules. We basically just connecting the dots here. Your personal energy, sonic self-care, dance, art, history, and like a graduation. So the full program will be like 6 weeks of this, but there's like, and I'll get to this later as well, but there's like half day, full day retreat. And that was thanks to Dr. Coleman. After talking to her, she was like, anybody do no 6-week course with you? 6 weeks, 4 hours. No, you need a half a day. That's what you get. So, all right, let me add some different offerings so I can tweak it, to fit some different things. So these are the projects. Okay. I cut out some of the other stuff that is more about the learning objectives and some of the, more academic components. Let's talk about the projects themselves. So the intro rap is the very first project, the icebreaker. It gets you to put your cards on the table, and now we can at least have a starting point. And really, we're not going to attack anything. We're really just trying to build, having these team building events and seeing each other go through and stumble through these raps and laugh at each other and enjoy like a fun moment and have a drink and just, and just relax with it. The journey is the main thing. And then later on in the course, you'll be asked to write 16 bars on the content diet, because we'll be discussing the effects of sounds, words, music, whatever, everything that is the diet of our eyes and our ears. And then you'll need 4 bars for your graduation song, which is going to be like a posse cut. So secretly, I just want to build my own personal Wu-Tang clan of people and do like these mixtape type projects. Everybody can rap if you try, you know what I mean? Even if you do it poorly, it's still fun. And if we do it as a group, you know what I mean? It can be a lot of fun. So I say, you know what I mean, a lot of times when I'm talking. I already know that. And I haven't heard it, but I just heard it. And I know that means I know y'all heard it. I've said it probably like 175 times already. All right. So the DJ component, I want you to create the soundtrack of your life, the definitive, like, yo, this is my top 10 right here. Boom. This is, this is it. If it was like my funeral, this is it. These are the only songs they're allowed to play or whatever. Graffiti, we want to create the artwork for your intro rap and do 6 pieces in a black book. Then the dance component, you got to create a dance for your intro rap, or some type of choreographed performance, whether it be a dance or signature rapper hands, with your own signature hand movements. If you're not a dancer, like a super dancer, whatever, and or just a choreographed performance, or however you want to stylize your thing. Be creative. We'll be watching. There's a watch list for documentaries, and that is top secret. There's a lot of research going into that, and I know everybody. You know what I mean? There's so many ways to do it, and I know y'all look like y'all watch documentaries, so there's so many things. The first one I give a clue is the art of rhyme. Freestyle, the art of rhyme, which is Sway's documentary with Supernatural. So it's an awesome documentary, and I think y'all enjoy it. That's the first one. And then we'll walk our way down from stuff like Beat Street and Wild Style. But by the time we get towards the end, we're going to be at like 13th, the Larry Davis documentary, and getting into like the more heavier components as we work our way through it, where the timing is more appropriate, where we know each other a little better and we can get onto the real heavy topics. And then the graduation project is just putting all of those things together. If I take everybody's intro rap and just like play it back to back to back to back, protect your neck all over again. We're going platinum, okay? So I think it's cool to have like a brewery project where y'all do a staff mixtape every year. You show you doing the diversity work. You put out a beer with it. There's different ways you could, use this as a marketing component, or at least share, the information that you've been working on. So the structure itself is pretty much a discussion, watch the documentary, and then hang out in the lab. But like I said, this is really kind of fluid because there's so many different ways that it will be introduced. It's really almost like you choose your own adventure. These would be the guidelines. Y'all saw kind of a hint at the beginning. I want to max out at 10 students, and there was 10 people in Wu-Tang. So that's really why. So you got the option of doing like the full course, a half day or a 1 day workshop, maybe a retreat, or you could just do it independently, and just follow the course on your own. And I'm recommending it as an annual. This is what I was mentioning along the way. Obviously optional, but this could be a fun project depending on, the brewery and whatnot. So, all right. You want to go back? Are y'all ready? These are some of my tips and tricks. Okay. I've been rapping since I was like 10. I don't know if y'all seen some of the other content I put out on Instagram. I'm doing like these brewery documentary kind of things where I'm basically taking the origin story of the brewery and turn it into a rap and a video. All right. So breath control, obviously you want to, take a good breath, not, OD, but, and I don't know what everybody's experience is, with performing or singing or, any of that, but these are just some of the basic tips. The cadence, focus on your inflection points, try to deliver with confidence. For your breath control and your confidence, just sitting up, getting your chest up, and then kind of having a swing to your stuff and your rapping hands. You got to have your, I recommend rapping hands. I feel like it helps. So, I feel like it helps you rhyme when you got rapping hands. Okay. All right. So this is the reference track. Y'all can see that, right?
1, 2, 1, 2.
Y'all hear it? Okay.
Rap Therapy, take 1. Filling the rhyme. Yeah. I'm the king of stout. There is none higher. To burn my palate, you must use fire. My name is Lennox. Let me introduce Dominican American. I will get loose. Gen X B-boy when I touch down. And he and him are my pronouns. New York is the city that I'm from. Was raised Christian since I was young. Middle age, middle class, able-bodied. And peace and love, at least I believe. I'm a good person, but biased too. I hate Trump people and their whole damn crew. They call me N-words every day, but I'm here for social justice in every way. So now you know my ABCs, and I'ma respect you if you respect me. Rap Therapy.
Rapper hands. You gotta have rapper hands, yo. It just makes it better. I ain't saying nothing special. The rapper hands, it make it feel like you saying something. I'm sorry. I enjoy this stuff a little too much. All right, who want to go first?
I would like to volunteer to go dead last.
That just made you first. Thank you so much for being the first volunteer. You got to break the ice, team. Come on.
I was gonna bring it home. You know what I'm saying? But
he's gonna bring up the rear. He's gonna ODB it.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Does anybody else volunteer for a particular place? No.
So I will say I don't have anything prepared. I didn't realize I needed to have anything prepared.
You don't have to. No, you don't have any.
I just wanted to come and see what you were doing.
All right. So does anybody want to provide some feedback on what y'all saw so far, or just add anything to the conversation?
I will. Not go. Professor in law school that if you answered a question or raised your hand, you were automatically going to do what she needed you to do.
Right.
So I wanted to be clear.
Okay.
I think it's a really, really good way to break people's I guess when you're in places where you are not comfortable being comfortable being yourself, but around groups of people you don't know, it will definitely put you in a place to be accepting of others that you want acceptance from as well. So I think just kind of the vibe that you're planting in the different steps that you've provided will provide that for someone that doesn't know how to break out of that being to themselves or not showing or expressing themselves in, social settings or professional settings as well.
Yeah, there's multiple layers to different things you got to kind of deal with, from stage fright and just, performance stuff and all that. So there are some numerous challenges. Anybody else want to add anything else?
I think it's a great idea, especially for schools, when you see so many teachers posting videos of how they relate to their students and teach their students using raps in a lot of different classes. I think also for someone like me who's not necessarily shy, but I probably would do a group song, rap, chat, whatever first, get rid of the jitters, and then roll out and act like I've been doing it for 20 years. Not.
So I think that going through that as a group is a real significant way to do team building in almost any setting, at almost any level. So, all right. Thank you for that.
I was going to say I'll do my rap, but I don't have the music thingy. I don't have the music in the background.
One time I was at this like Greek Fest show, and these guys came on stage and they said, "We're gonna do it Acapulco." So if you want to do it a cappella, that'll be fantastic. You know what I mean? And then, my teammate, Bay could bring it on home. Okay. And Josette and Stephanie, if you feel the spirit, if y'all want to do an ad lib, throw in a yeah or whatever, you know what I mean? But Kelly, I'll let you take it away.
Okay. This is gonna sound funny with that. Wait, hang on. Let me try.
Or I can play the music for you. Here you go.
Let me see if I can get it. Oh, you got it. There you go.
Okay, don't judge me if I come in on the 3 and 5.
All right, you want to start over? Want to drop it again?
Yes.
Let's drop it again.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm the queen of hazy. There is none higher. To burn my palate, you must use fire. My name is Kelly. Let me introduce Nubia American. I will get loose. Gen XB girl. When I touch down, she and her are my pronouns. Brick City is where I'm from. Raised Pentecostal since I was young. Middle age, middle class, disability, peace, love, values I believe. I'm a good person but biased too. The 1%ers I hate their crew. They call me N-word every day, but I'm here for justice in every way. So now you know my ABCs. I'ma respect you if you respect me. Rap therapy.
Yeah.
Was that all the way off?
Fantastic. That was great. That was great. That was fantastic. Even with the music getting a little choppy, you kept it going.
Okay. No rap hands holding the phone.
No rap hands. You got to concentrate. That's all right. You get a pass on the rap hand. You did great. That was fantastic. All right. Thank you for that.
You are welcome.
All right. So, babe, what's up?
What's up, man?
Let her rip.
Man, I'm going to let it rip, man. What up?
Let it rip.
Okay, baby.
Kelly done set the standard. Let her rip.
Hey, yo. Practice run.
Yeah, that's right. Wheel the tune one time.
It's a mixtape, dog. It's a mixtape.
Wheel it back.
I'm the king of Doppel Bop. There is none higher. To burn my palate, you must use fire. My name's Baby Beezy. Let me introduce King in exile, I will get loose. A 86 B-boy when I touch down. Man, I'm him, that's my only pronoun. Odina is the hood that I'm from. Pine Grove Baptist since I was young. 36 middle class, able-bodied. Peace and love are the days I believe. I'm a good person, but I'm biased too. I hate on Uncle Ruckus and his whole damn crew. They call me N-word every day, but I'm down for reform in every way. So now you know my ABCs, and I'ma respect you if you respect me. Rap therapy.
Woo! Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Stephanie got a big smile. Oh, we won over. We won her over. She was a little skeptical at first. Said, "Well, yeah, I know academia and all that. Yeah, I hear you, but this rapper hands." I'm just teasing Stephanie. But yeah, just doing this together, just having a cipher, any type of performance you do in a group, whether it be the choir or spoken word or whatever, what all the different ways that we engage in performance, the camaraderie that you have. You never forget really the times you on stage. Even artists who've done thousands and thousands of shows could be like, oh yeah, one time we was in Edinburgh in 86 and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like they'll just have these snippets of these moments. I think that if you build that with people, how you going to dislike somebody after y'all did like a mixtape together? But yo, these performances were good. These were good.
You know what I felt like? Mm-hmm. Almost like you're someplace with some friends and then you're talking to each other, but you're whispering and you really don't know why you're whispering when you should be talking with your full throat. So I'm so accustomed to when I hear this song, blast the volume and scream it, that saying it calm felt funny. Seems
that's
like,
fine. Yeah. No, but that's okay.
Ain't nobody doing all that right out the gate.
No. Yeah. And that's the thing about rapping. I mean, it don't gotta be, it's the setting, right? You're not gonna be trying to project your voice. You in the living room, right? Yelling like it's a concert. Look, somebody's gonna tell you to sit down.
Read the room.
Right. You gotta read the room. Any other thoughts? Any other feedback?
I love this. This is so dope. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Stephanie. Thank you. All right.
I just appreciate the forum or the platform that you have going, allowing me, myself, if I can, speak personally for a minute, just allowing me to be a part of this. This is way outside my comfort zone. I don't know if y'all can tell or not. When I get nervous, I sweat, so I'm clammy. My chest is wet. Like I probably need to jump in the shower on my lunch break here in a minute. But no, it's just much appreciated, and I do respect what you have going on, and I think that is allows people to tap into their creative side and to bring them out of the shell. And plus, it's an educational opportunity that makes this is part of one of the things that makes education and learning fun, especially with you speaking about introducing it to high schools. So I think it's a very positive and productive movement you have.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it forces you to go through those things. I mean, and I have felt those things. I've gotten at least on 2 occasions, definitely one, gotten the shakes. Like my hand. Let me tell you the time I got the shakes. So how much time we got? Okay, we got a little bit of time. So when I was at AIU, I got my master's in project management, right? I was always one of the top performers, whatever, in the admissions department. But I got fired. I went to lunch and they called me and dismissed me on the phone. Damn. They didn't even have the guts to bring me into the office. So anyway, that was like Monday, August 13th of 2007. And exactly like 5 days later, I was on the set of Tyler Perry's House of Pain, working as an extra. Back then, Craigslist was still legitimate. I ended up getting the job. It was just an extra, but they're like, can you be here at 6:30 tomorrow morning? I was like, heck yeah, with 3 changes of clothes. Like, I already knew the game. I had done some modeling and some, I knew enough. I show up and I'm enjoying the whole moment. I got to meet Robin Givens. I got to do a scene with her where I had to meet her. Then she went off and did, the real acting. But we had to do the take over and over again. So, it's like I had to keep shaking her hand. It was pretty cool. Met Alan Payne real quick. I was shouted like Harlem or something at him. So anyway, in one of the motions, I had to, it was a toast, and they were giving everybody like water in these fancy like martini glasses and stuff like that. They gathered everybody around for that scene and everything, and they gave me the glass. And I shook Robin Gibbons' hands 7 times, no problem. They gave me this glass, and my hand started shaking. The water started going. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh no. I was like, nah, you gotta hold this down. Like, you better hold this down. I had to like grab myself. Like somehow there's just these nerves just kind of just came out of nowhere. And it's not that I had never gotten nerves before, but it was like I'm literally in front of like 4 cameras. Tyler Perry's up there yelling from the thing. It was a fantastic experience. But I never forget. I was like, oh snap! I need to meditate or something. I need to get my breathing together. Like I can't just. And I performed so many times. I had done so many talent shows, like so many just shows in college and all that stuff. And so it happens. And when you overcome those things personally, it's a huge achievement, in your personal development and the way you developing yourself as an adult, as we mature into the next stages of adulthood, having that self-mastery of like, I challenge myself in different areas to get better and to improve and to do different things that a little bit outside of my comfort zone. And we love rap music so much. And if you take it to the next level and write your affirmations, you started seeing these things already on TikTok and all these stuff. The ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. Once you get to a certain point in church or in academia, you start looking at like the crossover and where these other levels of intelligence and spirituality can be developed through meditation and creative practice and just taking care of yourself. Like the more you love yourself, like the more you like rise. All of these tools are meant to help you manage stress and the different situations that will arise. We already doing this. This is not like some,
Right.
There's people twerking all day long, karaoke, open mics, poetry, you know what I mean? Like people just journaling, like it's already just there. That's important and significant. It's been a tool for me. One time I wrote an 11-page poem. Surprise, it was about a girl. It was I wrote a book almost, and then I don't even know where that thing is at. I lost it. I don't even know where that poem is. So anyway, all right, we still got 15 minutes, but I think we got the point of this, but I do want to leave it open for any more thoughts.
Lennox, there's a question in the chat.
All right. What's the question?
As a tool for DEI, how does self-mastery help?
I mean, self-mastery helps in every area of your life. When you deal with really knowing yourself and understanding yourself, you're talking about understanding maybe why you think certain things and should you be thinking certain things. I think self-mastery is a tool for everything. That's borderline not even a valid question. You know what I mean? Because that's like saying, how will personal development help whatever, and, I don't think you can go wrong by developing yourself. You know what I mean? So not to be, negative or anything. But,
I see it a little differently.
Okay, please. Yes.
Only because, again, I go back to the statement of you want people to accept, see, and hear you. And in order for that to happen, you have to do the same thing. So
Yes.
How DEI, the way it looks for me in a public service realm and public health realm, is that there are many different walks of life of people that have different health issues. And there's no one way to be sick. So you have to just look at what the landscape is in order for you to say, hey, I fit into this landscape, so I have to accept everything within the landscape. So, and that's how you treat people. Ultimately, a lot of people perceive people that need, that have access to public health, one of the areas that I work in, they perceive that as people being poor, not necessarily the fact that public health is there to help everyone. You can get your birth certificates, your death certificates, all your immunizations for your expensive trips that you want to go on. So all walks of life are impacted by public service and public health. So just being in that arena, for me, it's a tool that I want to be seen, felt, and heard so does everyone else. So I have to take that with me everywhere I go. I can't make it a one track or my one way of handling it or seeing people. It has to be seen through the lens of the way I want to be seen and the way I want to be felt and heard and accepted. So that's a part of self-mastery to me, because you don't want to be perceived as, I want you to see, hear, and feel me, but I don't see, hear, and feel you. So that's how I look at it when it comes to DEI and self-mastery.
Absolutely. Very well said. Very well said.
Spoken with my rapper hands.
The emphasis. I love it. Thank you. Fantastic points. All right. Anybody else got something to add? Do we have any more comments?
I have a comment.
Okay.
I've never taken a DEI class, and I've always wondered what matrix can be used afterwards to measure any improvement or positive changes or negative changes within whatever situation you happen to be in, whether it's craft beer or a corporate level, or I'll say Army, for example. I'm familiar with that. I'm a veteran. They use nothing to measure anything. They just check boxes. Like, okay, we got to do this training every quarter. So get everybody in here. Let's kill them with PowerPoint and move on to the next thing. Because it's a difference to me between inclusion and tolerance, and a lot of people, I don't think, understand that, or they're just more willing to tolerate people and things just because, kind of like a go along to get along. But in the end, is it really making a change that we want, that's beneficial, particularly for non-whites in any industry or in schools and things like that? So that's just something that's always been on my mind, because I know big companies, they'll jump on something that's trending. If it's blackness that's trending, they'll throw a bunch of money at it, or put out that they've given X amount of dollars to this organization. But that seems to be where a lot of stuff stops. So what did that organization do with the money? How was it impactful?
Mm-hmm. Just
inquiring minds.
Yeah, you said several mouthfuls. I think that's loaded. That's a loaded baked potato right there.
It is. But I appreciate your workshop, because music and beverage are two things that almost anybody can enjoy, no matter what your background is, political views, religion, social view, whatever. So I would like to think that, first and foremost, we can come together over something as simple as music and craft beer, have a great time, and at least maybe that guy doesn't follow the same political views that you have necessarily, but that doesn't make them the devil, or we can go way out into left field sometimes when we hear one thing or see one thing that we don't like, and it causes people to just shut down, period. Or I've been on the receiving end of that enough to know, like, all right, then, never mind, goodbye. And then this is the last thing I'll say. The question of DEI, and is that a healthy version of something that we want to do, a la MLK integrating into a burning house? And I'll just leave it at that. It's just something that I think about. It'd be beautiful, kumbaya, if we could all do the things together in a humane way. That's it. That's all I got.
So that's why this is something you can't really throw money at. You got to go through the process.
Yeah,
going through the process is the key component. of it. And there's a million scenarios that this could manifest, you know. And so, but yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky landscape.
Yeah.
At least I think there's more accountability, obviously, you know, now, and we're able to kind of do things like this and organize a little better, and hopefully just change a few people's minds. And that's why I talk about like the content diet, you know, as one of the first things. It's like, if I see a piece of media that's biased, my goal was like, all right, you see this biased piece of media, before you came to my event, you may have believed it, but after you came to my event and you hung out with some people, you're gonna be like, I don't know about that. I was at this beer thing the other day and I was hanging out with fill in the blank, right? I was hanging out with some Indian guys or some Chinese guys or some whatever. You know, I was hanging out with these folks in this news article, and I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that to me is like a huge victory. Like just that little doubt of like that little critical thinking is a huge victory to me as a step. You know, I think that's a significant step. It's a small step. It may not, you know, but just planting that seed of like, nah, I know some people from that culture, so I know that's not true, or I don't believe that, or you know, that's not everybody in that culture. You know,
Right.
You know, and stereotypes come from somewhere. You know, so there's a lot of different layers to that, but there's too many people and there's too many dimensions and nuance, and every human is precious cargo. Dr. Watts at Morehouse would address, you know, the incoming freshmen, and it was like, it's precious cargo. You know, it's for every single one is precious cargo. There's not one that's deserving of being thrown away. None. And that's why a lot of HBCUs have problems, because they let students stay without paying way longer than they should. You know, you got students after homecoming still ain't figure out how the semester gonna get paid. What they tell you, keep going to class. Just keep going. We know you can't pay. We're not gonna kick you out. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen it. You know, I've done it. I've been the one to say, stay in your room. You know what I mean? Just stay, just chill, and stay in your room. So that opportunity, I think, just propelled so many of them, you know, who come from so many different backgrounds. And my mind changed a lot working at Morehouse. Now, you know, I'll close that. If anybody has any final thoughts, you know, I'll be happy to give you the floor as well. But, you know, Morehouse, it gave me a lot of polish on understanding the culture and the business culture and the academic culture of the South. But because I was there 24/7, you know, I had an open door policy, and I had interactions with probably like 70% of the students, you know, directly. So meeting a population of gay students who I had to work with one-on-one and listen to their stories, what happened, how they achieved a pinnacle academic success by being accepted into Morehouse, and at the same time being disowned by the family and the community, and you know, just kind of shunned, and these tragic stories, you know, from good families, good people, you know, that you may otherwise not expect that from, you know, and all the different challenges that my students faced. You know what I mean? It's something that it's a work that you don't stop doing. You know, it's like that, you know, I've always had that as a gift, especially with young people, you know what I mean? Just rallying them. So I'm honored and grateful that each and every one of you joined me today. Thank you so much for giving your time and your attention and your thoughts and feedback, your creativity. Thank you for putting yourself through, you know, a little awkward, you know, making yourself do the rhyme and everything. So it's fantastic. You know, it feels great when you finish a rhyme and you polish it off and you just hit that. Woo! There's nothing like it. You know, it's a rush. You know, it's a rush. When you get through a rhyme that you've been maybe struggling to rehearse. I was watching this Tony Hawk documentary, and the man would fall like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times trying to master like one thing. And then when he hit that trick, it was, you know, it was amazing. So anyway, keep being awesome. Thank you so much. Anybody got any closing comments or anything?
Thank you.
Hearts and minds clear.
Just cheers.
Yeah.
Continue to drink good beer. leave the crap alone, drink craft, not crap. Keep the momentum going, man, and yeah, just let's continue to build.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I'll leave y'all with my quote that Nori said, and I don't even drink like that. I sell crack, and I'm doing something called Crack Money as an NFT project. So it's a fun plan.
Okay.
And I really don't drink like that anymore. I drink a lot less these days, and that's why I'm really particular about what I drink. I want to drink the best stuff I'm going to be drinking because, you know, I'm 46. You know, check engine lights is coming on. I was telling Bay last night, like, look, man, you know, stuff is starting to happen out the blue. So, you know, we got to keep the health component up there. So, you know, it's something to kind of indulge in versus, you know what I mean? We got to be mindful. And there's a whole alcoholism problem and other problems that we've seen in the craft industry. So, you know, it's a delicate, you know what I mean? It can be a delicate thing. So I don't want to over promote, you know, the beer is like a prop. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to over promote the drinking part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we can enjoy it, but let's not, you know, that's not why we're here, you know?
So, responsibility.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, folk got families. You know what I mean? We got people that depend on us and whatnot. We the leadership. A lot of times, the people, especially in the craft beer community in Atlanta, it's the cream of the crop. It's the cream of the crop. You know, it's the talented 10th, all up and down. Every HBCU, every fraternity, sorority. You know what I mean? Like, up and down. It's some of the best people in the city. You know, period. And they got reach into like everything. So it's an awesome community to be a part of. So, all right, y'all. Everybody's good? Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.